that thing of the chi. Who's got any chi left? It's so much easier to give in. And it's also, it's awkward because it is not the dominant mode in this culture. So you have that thing, you know, if you're going up against, you're tired, you haven't got the chi, and then you're bucking. It's just easier to go with the dominant thing.
Is there another group over here?
Yeah, one parent pointed out, not wanting to disappoint your kid. I mean, you know that, you know, life is hard, that kids have a lot of stresses, and then of course sleep and schedule and stress and knowing how long it takes.
Sometimes I think it's hard to find a balance between, you find it's very, or I personally find sometimes that I'm negotiating. Okay, I'm negotiating to try to give a little bit of about what they want, but not everything. Just because I don't want to disappoint them, you know.
Good. This group over here.
We kind of touched back on the idea of when you do have play dates and the politeness. It really is kind of hard sometimes to say to that other parent, "Oh yeah, they did this," or you know, it is kind of a tricky one. And you know, how do you maybe facilitate the relationships with the other families so that it makes it easier to do that?
Yeah. You know, I want to say that these skills, we're talking about school also, so that the check-in you talked about, you know, when they do a play date, what about check-in after school? Did you remember to raise your hand? Were you cooperative? Did you do what people asked? Was there any time when you didn't, so I could help you with it? Is there another group there?
I think we were touching on what she was saying, that it's hard to be coordinated with your significant other, and when you're tired, you just don't necessarily do the right thing. That's about it.
Excellent. This group?
We talked about consistency. So the challenge of, you know, kids will take the path of the least resistance, and there's the consistency between home and school, two different households, even two parents in the same household.
This group here?
A couple things that were getting in our way were feeling guilty about if you're working, you're coming home, you want to just be able to be with your child. Embarrassed by your child's behavior and not wanting to, you know, do your laundry in front of other people. Shyness about being with other children and helping take care of them at the same time. You know, the community thing.
Okay. This group?
It was a little teacher-centric, but I think not having that fight sometimes with our discipline, you know, and then the
Fight.
Sorry, and then not necessarily having the support of the families when we go ahead and need to discipline. Then they're kind of saying, "No, it's fine. It happens." You know, when I was your age, and you know, instead of really going back, as opposed to that should not be happening in school.
This group?
You may be talking.
This group.
I think one of the things that holds a few of us back is like just the tough love approach. It's just hard. You feel bad. You don't want to take away the things that you'd love to provide to your kids or to the students who are in the classroom. So it just doesn't feel good to have to apply tough love.
This group here?
I think one thing that kind of gets in our way we were talking about is just kind of being afraid of the confrontation of disciplining our kids in front of other parents, and then maybe having to discipline their kids. You know, what we were kind of afraid that we would have confrontation with the other parents. You know, what's that line of what's acceptable, and are you coming across in the way that you want to come across, communicating your point?
There is such a strong hidden rule in California, in Santa Cruz in particular, about parents have to be PC. Kids don't have to be. And they act out all the time, but we're so embarrassed. You know, it's like you do not want to be calling them on it in the wrong way and someone watching. How many people would like to give themselves some slack and give the other parents here in this room some slack of like, if you don't handle it exactly right, it's still okay with me if you're trying to handle it.
I think one of the things we talked about is when you have
2 or 3 kids, yeah, of course, it's never the same. You can discipline one way, it doesn't work for the others. And so then you go to this place where, like, if it works for this one but not for this one, it doesn't seem fair. So that was one of the things. And then having just one child too, if you have an only child, and then that's a whole different dynamic.
And our culture really has put fairness above enforcing these skills with kids, different than what I see in the Midwest. They're not so concerned with fairness. Our kids, they have a trump card. That wasn't fair! And then we're like, oh, I'm sorry. You spent 20 minutes negotiating to make it fair. It's like, you know, that's not what I'm seeing. In other parts of the country, it's like, too bad. You know the rule. You don't get to do that.
Yeah.
So we covered pretty much all of that. We also have a teacher-centric group over here. And one of the things that came up is sometimes you just don't know the next step. You're like, whoa, look at that. What do I do now? And like trying to figure out what that next appropriate step to take is sometimes daunting.
Where do people feel that?
Yeah.
So, and books are not enough, but here's a circle of wisdom. What if we could talk honestly with each other and say, this is what I'm struggling with, do you have any thoughts? And if the person could say honestly what they think. I think you're over-empowering your child, or I think that they're getting away with things, or I think you're being too strict with them and they're rebelling. Or why don't you try this? You know, what if we gave ourselves permission to be wrong, but to really show up in the way a family does for each other, where it's like, I care about these children so much that I will try to hold your hand through this incredibly difficult process of raising our children. Justin, will you do your presentation?
With Ms. Roman?
With Ms.